It is my sincere pleasure at this point in the evening to introduce Matt officially to come up, Coach Wilkinson, who lives and breathes camp. His first summer of his life, he was at a camp with his dad, who was the director and co-founder of, and he would go on to attend a camp as a camper from age 6 till age 15, and then serve on a summer staff from age 16 through to age 32 before stepping into his role as Camp Kwasind's executive director for the last 11 years within his role as the director of Next Generation Ministries for CBOQ. Please help me give a warm welcome to Matt.
This is a special night. I want to tell you why it's a special night. Tonight's a special night because I know how much my wife loves me. She's still with me, and tonight's her birthday. Yeah. Planning an event on your wife's birthday, and she's still with you. You know there's got to be love there, babe. Happy birthday, and thanks for letting me coordinate an event on this night and all the work you put in and everything that you've done for camp with our kids so that I can do the role that I get to do with this. As you heard, camp is hardwired into me, I believe. I love what camp does and the life change that it brings into people's lives. This really has started off when I had the roots of my grandfather being one of the first directors of a camp in Muskoka, Minneoy, that some may be familiar with. And wonderful camp. And our Wilkinsons loved their Minneoy. I had the opportunity to have my first early years in Muskoka Woods, where my dad served as co-founder and first director. Before that as the Keswick Youth Camp up there. So my years at Pioneer, and it was this incredible honor to step in and join the Kwasind family and to be able to call this home. There's something special about camp that runs deep in the blood because we see that it changes lives. I'm so thankful that you guys are here today. This is amazing showing. I'm so encouraged with all that you're here as we celebrate this 80 years. Some of you are here as alumni. Alumni, thank you for the years of commitment to camp, loving camp, celebrating camp, believing in camp. Some of you are here because you married an alumnus. Some of you are one and the same, both alumni and married an alumnus. Others here are staff. Others are invited guests, of whom someone wanted you to hear about the ministry of what Kwasind is about and how it significantly impacted them. This has been a place that so many of us have called home. But I want you to think back 80 years. Many of us aren't that old. Peter, thanks for being here, though. You got that, man. You are here. I love it. It makes me so happy. But do you recall what's happening in 1943? The world is at war. Young people, significant resources are all being shipped overseas. It's a difficult time. There's devastation, there's hurt, there's loneliness, there's isolation and confusion that are filling young people's lives. You know what else was happening in 1943? There's a woman named Ruth Johnson who made her way in on a property that was for sale, and she followed these wagon wheel ruts that made their way into a property on Skeleton Lake. Ruth was a visionary. She was looking to answer the question, how can we most effectively reach and disciple the next generation in the ways of Jesus? How can we offer them hope in desperate times? And how can we give them leadership opportunities? Ruth could see that the best way to do that was to buy the property and build an overnight kids' summer camp. She shared this opportunity with Leland Gregory and the General Secretary, who is of what is now known as the Canadian Baptists of Ontario and Quebec. Leland was quick to embrace this vision, ensuring that the purchase of the land happened, and our first summer, 1944, began what we're celebrating now. We fast forward 80 years. You know what? Young people are dealing with isolation, fear, confusion, hurts. with significant parts of our world at war, people experiencing so much confusion. My friends, do you know what is still the best way to offer hope, meaningful life change, God-given transformation, leadership opportunities? I believe it's camp. I believe it's overnight summer camp. And what birthed us in 1943, which we saw the launch in 1944, and what we're still doing now and why we prioritize camp, is it is bringing hope and transformation and life change to this next generation. I'm so thankful for the countless heroes who have sacrificially given time and money and resources to lead Kwasind forward. Those who would face challenges and do whatever it took to see the full potential of Kwasind be realized. You wanted to help young people move one step closer to Jesus. You worked hard on work weekends. You sacrificially gave year-round, using your giftings of expertise to volunteer to make sure that camp thrived. The kids had an opportunity to come to camp. The families had a space to gather. That you gave sacrificially so it could be affordable. The likes of Peter Lacey, Lillian Curtis, Leland Gregory, the Martindales, all those who have given years to serving on the Camp Kwasind committee, management team, other committees along the way. There are hundreds who've given sacrificially. And friends, that's why we're here today, is on the strength of our incredible past and those who have given. Kwasind is home. And over the years, it's often been said, this is where you can feel the touch of God. Some of you in this room tonight have shared with me that this is a place where you came into relationship with Jesus. Others have shared this is where you've met your spouse with whom you now share a lasting life together. Others have shared that this is where you've met your closest and best friends, that you're sharing the great adventures that is life before you. I want you all to know that Kwasind is more than just a kid's overnight summer camp. It's something more sacred, more long-lasting, more life-changing than just being a week at kids' camp. This bigger reality is what drives our mission to reach the vision of being a champion, a catalyst, and a bridge. What has made Camp Kwasind so impactful over these years? There's a couple of things here. First of all, Kwasind intentionally provides a uniquely affordable space while also providing a high-quality programming. We don't see these as mutually exclusive, both being highly affordable and also high quality. Rather, that these need to come together as we continue to build the site and improve the space that we have to provide the programs we offer. It's designed to ensure that young people know that they matter, all while building up their confidence and character and independence into their lives. You heard this all through Wendy's story as a snapshot of the impact of what it means to be a champion of Christian camping, the importance of what Christian camping does. Friends, we want to see all Christian camps thrive. That's why we're a champion of Christian camping first and foremost. Our next step in that is within Kwasind is well on its way to being part of the larger vision of seeing Christian camps thrive, of helping kids move one step closer to Jesus. Second thing where we're making an impact. You see, this space is not a summer vacation for kids, but it's a place where young leaders are discovered, mentored, coached, invested into, so that they can feel empowered to pursue their potential and be trusted with significant leadership opportunities. Elliot, I so appreciated all that you shared. That's the story right there of what's happening, and that's just one snapshot of so many. Elliot, as we heard so well of how Kwasind has helped you be a catalyst in developing you as a young leader, and there's so many that are around you, so many that are in this room that have that story to share. And third, and I think this is what I love most about camp, is that it's where fun, is that while it's fun, it creates memories, it fosters lasting friendships, it's actually a sacred haven that's provided young people being able to come from all walks of life. At Kwasind, we have those who are coming from a faith background, and many that are coming having never explored faith at all. We provide a safe place to explore the Christian faith. And not only to come into relationship with Jesus, but to be discipled in the faith, connected to faith communities back home, and then be inspired to lead others to Jesus. It's not just about a one-week investment, but our hope is an ongoing investment in seeing that traction, as you heard in Kanga's story, that began with coming to camp, coming into relationship with Jesus. 13 years later, being our speaker of the week, leading the next generation into relationship with Jesus, and walking this journey together as we serve as that bridge. Friends, transformation is what we offer. For 80 years, Kwasind has been a sacred space that has shown itself as fun, memorable, safe camp. But hear this, and you heard it at the beginning, and it might come as a surprise to you, but Kwasind isn't actually in the camping industry. The reality is that we're in the business of transformation. That's what we're about. We just happen to believe that the best structure, system, experience for overnight is to be overnight summer camp. That's where we're living in community, walking with one another, building deep relationships, focused on Christ. That's going to allow us to move to that place. Ruth Johnson got that. She set the trajectory. She said, you want to see the next generation come to Jesus when the world's experiencing the most devastating time? Our interest is transformation. That's what Ruth's interested in. She says, it just happens to be that we're going to do it through summer camp. And we want to continue to carry that on. So while we're going to excel at programming and providing a premier camping experience, we actually do it because it provides the means to help the next generation move closer to Jesus, to find purpose and identity, find care and community, friendships, and ultimately the transformative work of the Holy Spirit. At Kwasind, what we continue to see is young people who arrive struggling with fear and leave with confidence. Arriving feeling lonely, but leaving with a sense of belonging. Arriving with doubts and questions, but leaving on a spiritual journey. Arriving having made poor decisions, yet finding out that they are forgiven and free. Arriving lacking purpose, and then discovering they have leadership giftings and potential. Arriving without a faith to call their own, and leaving having made a decision to walk in life with Christ. Friends, in a country where more and more kids are becoming disconnected from faith or having never stepped foot in the church, we are seeking to fill that void, answer that response, and see that transformation in the lives of young people. Well, then helping them connect back into the local church. We see them moving one step closer to Jesus and being able to feel the touch of God. Over these last little while, Kwasind has been growing. For those of you just jumping in on the story here, over the last decade, we've grown from a little bit, from around 200 campers to being sold out over 1,200. We just saw over 280 campers make first-time decisions for Jesus. Right now, a heads up, if you want to make sure your kids are in Kwasind, not a shameless plug for registration, but we're just shy of 90% or just over 90% already at capacity. We can't answer why, but we're grateful for those that are calling Kwasind home here. If we're on the wait list, we're actually going to get creative. We're trying to get creative. Tonight's part of helping us get creative. How do we help kids not miss out on being at camp? We saw over 100 young adults being equipped as leaders who will influence and shape their world as Jesus did, and results of being invested into through serving their time at camp. When some hear, though, that we're sold out, these people would say, well, you've arrived. You've reached your potential. Way to go. Great business model. Like, you've arrived at being totally sold out. You've got all your product out. You got to feel great. Yes, no. Our potential at camp isn't arrived at by being sold out. Our potential is found in pursuing the ways and new opportunities that God is calling us to do camp, so that it can reach as many and disciple as many young people as possible as we just discover these young leaders and give them opportunity going forward. So what does our future potential hold? Well, we have reached our current capacity for the time being. We have bylaws to work around. We have things we've got to figure out. I'm meeting with the mayor for reasons, but it ain't too big for God here. Our future is not bound by our current capacity, as God is calling us to creatively expand our capacity, strategically connect kids to faith communities back home, and to invest into our young leaders all year round through a newly launched program with CBOQ, which is our Young Leaders Collective, in partnership with the local church. We're going to take these three areas. We're going to expand our capacity, we're going to connect kids back home, and we're going to develop young leaders year round. And what I'm most excited about for our future is that in less than a year from now, it is my hope that I will be revealing to you plans for a 60-bed lodge. That is beautiful. That's like what I'm dreaming. We're not there yet. We've got a lot of hurdles to get over to get to that. But that's not insurmountable. We want a beautiful lodge here that's a welcome place to Kwasind, where we are able to have a 60-bed lodge, which will give us 500 more campers on site through the summer. We'll be able to expand our capacity year-round of how we continue to do ministry with groups both locally in Muskoka, as well as groups throughout the weekend. This has been an incredible strategic move to move forward, but there's a lot of hurdles to be able to get there with the limited land that we own, with the bylaws in front of us, and what we are up against working with the township. But it's not insurmountable, and we're going to come, and my hope is that in a year from now, you're going to see a plan with detailed architectural drawings for where we're going to go to be able to expand our capacity so that we don't have to put campers on wait lists. We want campers to be able to experience the life-changing work of Jesus. This is going to allow us to have that potential, but that story is for a year from now. But that doesn't limit our possibility right now. Do you believe that Kwasind's potential is limitless? Looking back over the last decade, it would have seemed inconceivable that we would become one of the fastest growing Christian camps in Ontario, that within just 10 years, we would be completely sold out with hundreds of kids making responses to Jesus. But that's just what happened. And one of those things is, I want to walk where God's wanting to take us. My commitment to our staff team, my commitment to our board, my commitment to this is I'm willing to run fast, as hard as God calls to, but I will not outrun God. This is not built on strength of an individual or where we think that we can do it on our own. We didn't arrive here on our own. We're not going to do whatever we have to do as our next step on our own. Potential is limitless because we're each playing our role, ensuring that we're actually walking in step with God's plan, where God's calling us to do. That's our next step. That's where our potential is in what God's calling us to do. Not a capacity number, not a building launch, not a new program. Our potential is found in listening to the voice of God and going, what's next, God, and how do we then deliver on that and honor going into that? Friends, the future of Kwasind, our potential, isn't just one person, one program, one donor, or one family. It's the collective work of everyone in the Kwasind community, seeing the potential that is before us and choosing to walk in step with God, what God's calling us to do. As we embrace this future, I truly believe that our potential as a camp is not rooted in reaching a certain capacity number. Instead, it will continue to be rooted in doing the transformative work of God, allowing God to do the transformative work in the lives of young people whom He has called us to reach and trusted us to walk with. And that each of one of us would play the role that would be. That may be giving generously of your time to be a summer staff person. It might be through the area of donation. It might be through covering camp and prayer. It might be through your volunteer abilities. Each one of us has an opportunity to create the story that God is calling us into. Friends, I share all this with you because I believe that Camp Kwasind has a limitless potential with our great history of raising up young leaders. Peter, you're one of those young leaders that someone believed in and saw the young leader in you. And along the way, you've raised up so many young leaders. And we hope to keep doing what was invested into you, what you did with so many others, and what we're committed to continue to keep doing going forward. At this time, I want to show you what it's like to experience the impact that you can be having. In just a sec, I want you to look at the table, on your table. You're each given a box. I want you to open that box, and I want you to just hold on to the flashlight portion of it. I don't want you to turn it on. I just want you to have it in your hand. There's also a pen in there. You can leave the pen there. We're going to come to that in a sec. But both of these things are going to be very meaningful, I hope, for you as you leave here. I want you to simply take this flashlight and hold it. Here, we're going to turn the lights off and it's going to go dark. What impact are you able to make in the lives of an individual? I want you to think right now of someone who's made a difference for you. Think of that person who's willing to see you as someone important. Now, in this darkness, there's a world that our young people today are navigating. It's one where they're hyper-connected but feel internally disconnected. It's where fear is driving decisions, where mental health struggles are on the rise, where social isolation is just below the surface, where young people aren't feeling they're being trusted, where pressure to succeed is all around, and where questions and doubts of eternity and faith hang in the balance. It's into this darkness that we're stepped Kwasind. It's where Kwasind has stepped for 80 years and has provided a light, a place, a warm glow around a campfire to give life to young people. Right now, if you're a full-time staff person, I invite you just to turn on your light and to raise that up. As you turn on your light, you give the opportunity for young leaders to thrive. If you are a summer staff person, I want you to turn on your light right now. You give a place of hope and care to campers. If you're alumni staff, I want you to turn on your light. As you've made a space for kids to find belonging and a place that you've called home become their home, a safe haven. If you've been a donor or a prayer partner with us in any way, I want to invite you now to turn on your light as we make possible the opportunity for young people to move one step closer to Jesus and to see a camp grow, improve, and thrive in new opportunities. And if you are a friend or a guest of Kwasind tonight, I want to invite you to turn on your light. As you are now helping us to break new ground, discover our next step, and allow transformation to happen. You see, in a world of darkness for young people, Kwasind can be a shining light. Every light matters and makes a difference in the lives of the next generation when we work together. We're going to turn the lights back on here. But I want you to remember that you are carrying a light that's lighting it up for the next generation in the role that you play. Our future of the next generation is bright. As we close out this night together, our potential is limitless. We each play a role in lighting up this world. I want you to simply hear from me, thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for believing in young people. Thank you for being part of this story. As we look to finish 2024 strongly, we have launched a campaign. It's 3 opportunities to give to one goal. Between now and the end of the year, we want to raise $128,000. We have 3 pockets that's going to be going into, but we want to let you know that the second opportunity to give is not for you to give. You're here tonight. Opportunity number 2 is Giving Tuesday. And we want to encourage you to invite others in your community to give on that day. People that may not have been part of our community to be able to join it or be part of being giving before to give on that time. Throughout December, from the 4th of December to the end of the year, we want to raise $24,000 in that period of time, which is $1,000 a day, with Sundays as a day of rest as you go through those 24 days of Christmas. And maybe you can invite some friends to consider to give during that time. You see, we've been blessed with a matching gift of $64,000. So as we raise $24,000 tonight, as we raise $24,000 in December, and as we raise $16,000 on Giving Tuesday, we have that match to be able to reach our goal. You see, to reach our $24,000 tonight, our first $8,000 is going to go towards being a champion of Christian camping, focus on improvements to camp, and will continue to ensure Kwasind is a leader in the Christian camping world, providing a high-quality, safe, and affordable experience. Second is going towards being a catalyst for developing young leaders, which is to provide the support for our staff scholarship fund, to increase our training resources for our staff development, and new this year to be able to offer LITs to be part of the year-round Young Leaders Collective program. And finally, the third $8,000 is going to go towards being a bridge, connecting the next generation to Jesus. This will allow us to get more Bibles into the hands of campers who ask for them, launching new innovative ways to connect campers to faith communities back home, and to resource campers going home with a devotional resource, help them stay connected to God. So with these three areas in mind, I want you to thoughtfully consider what your next step might be. If you would now take out your pen that's inside your booklet or inside your box there. This pen, as you hold in your hand, inside your portfolio that you got when you came in, there was a response card here. To think about, what can I be part of today? There's a QR code on there because you know that's sometimes a lot easier. But to go, what might this look like? But the pen's the important part. Because what I want you to do as you hold that pen is to remember that as we contribute, you're helping write Kwasind's story. As you have this pen, wherever you take this pen, go, I am part of writing the story of Kwasind. It's been being written for 80 years. And I want to invite you into continuing to write the story of Kwasind, where our mission is focused on being a champion, a catalyst, and a bridge. I'm going to invite Nat just to come up and play for us here, as we just have a couple of minutes before we wrap up this evening and finish this off. But remember, every dollar tonight will be matched up to $24,000. Then once you fill out your response card, there's a large envelope on your table there. There should be a large white envelope, and you can put that into that envelope there. If there isn't one on your table, we'll be having a staff member bring those around to the tables. Those will be collected at the end. Friends, I want to thank you for your presence here tonight, for celebrating 80 phenomenal years of camp. Let's invest now so Kwasind can continue to brighten up the lives of the next generation through the transformative work of Jesus, so that as we come together, we each play our own role, following God's call on us as a camp, that we realize that our potential is truly limitless. Thank you, my friends. This is your time. In just a second, Shannon will be back with you, but consider to give, what does it mean to partner with camp tonight?